Hello, this is Zuri. Thank you for stopping by my channel. In this video, I'm going to be discussing, not disgusting. Even though the whole situation is very disgusting, I am discussing Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears. The whole whatever you want to call it, skit, the public service, quote unquote, public service announcement. I'm going to be discussing that and just showing a clip of Tiffany Haddish comedy, and where she's joking about flirting with children. And I'm also going to be showing a clip from an interview with Nene Leakes, where she talks about protecting black women. And I'm just going to be discussing this whole thing. It really doesn't have a particular point that I'm trying to make. Just discussing some things that I kind of left out when I made my video the other day. I think it was last Friday. I made a video and I was really tipsy. Let's just say that. Slightly inebriated. And it was just really hard for me because this whole situation is kind of hard for me to talk about, because I have witnessed a family member being abused, and I remember the family member telling me that they actually told other family about it, and no one believed them. And to this day, this family member has anger and trauma and a lot of pain about what happened to them. So I think that because of that, I feel like it hits home different, and I wish that people would believe children. And for that reason, it's almost like re-traumatizing for me, even though in that case I wasn't the one being victimized, but I still witnessed someone being victimized, which is traumatizing for me and for the victim as well. So that's why it was a little hard for me, and it was just watching that video was just really hard for me to watch. It was just disturbing. And not just that, I do like to drink, I'm not gonna front, but I wanted to talk about this from a more sober angle. I don't want to just be all sloppy and intoxicating all over the place. So this is just my sober discussion on the whole situation. Tiffany Haddish has came out and pretty much released a statement, kind of I guess exuding herself from any type of responsibility, pretty much, and just saying that she didn't think it was funny, kind of paraphrasing her statement that it sounds like was written by a publicist. But yeah, she just pretty much saying that she knew that it was wrong and she can't talk about it for legal reasons, and yada yada yada, pretty much what you would expect her to say at this point. I still don't think Aries Spears has an official statement in regards to the video. I don't think he's issued any statements, so I don't know. I haven't heard anything from him. I just know that he had made a video on Instagram where he was talking about he won't break his soul or something like that. So maybe he means you won't break his soul because he doesn't have one anymore. He sold it, so you can't break it. You have to go get it from the devil, I guess. So yeah, this video, we're just gonna discuss some things that might have been discussed already, but I'm going to discuss them. So we're going to start out, this video. What the F? What the F were they thinking? Why? Did they decide that this was a good idea? What made them do this? This video, through the eyes of a predator, or whatever it's called. What made them want to do this? What was it they were trying to get? Was it fame? I wondered to myself, I'm like, are they on drugs? Then I remember, oh, fame is a drug. It's a hell of a drug. Probably one of the strongest drugs there is. In David Wilcock's book, The Synchronicity Key, which I advise anyone to read, it's a really good book. It talks about energy, and it was the first time that I started really learning about energy and frequency. And he was talking about famous people and fame and how it's very intoxicating, and it almost literally gives people power. So it becomes this thing that people are addicted to. And at the time when Tiffany did this video, she wasn't very known, because it was 2013 and I had no idea who she was. I knew who Aries Spears was, but I haven't seen him in any movie since Jerry Maguire, or I haven't seen him on TV since he was on Mad TV. So maybe they did it for that reason. That could be one possible reason. Maybe the fame is the drug. I also want to talk about the whole Illuminati thing, because on my last video I kind of went off about the Illuminati, but then I thought about it. I'm not saying that I completely believe in this, but here, okay, I thought, like, why would the Illuminati protect Lizzo? Why would they come after her? Why would they care? Because I know the Illuminati does not care about black women. Then I was like, maybe, and this is, like I said, just speculation. I don't agree with this, but I guess some Illuminati conspiracy theorists might say, oh, well, Lizzo is pushing the I have Kathy Hilton because people are saying that it's because he went after Lizzo, but Kathy Hilton kind of went after her, and not intentionally, but I don't think she had any backlash. And I'm pretty sure other people have said things about Lizzo too, and I don't remember any backlash coming from that. Rodney the Voice, who, shout out to Rodney, I love him so much. Check out his YouTube channel. He's one of my favorite bloggers. He had a good point in saying that he think that Aries Spears knew that this was coming out, and that it was kind of like his own way of doing damage control, so that people would focus on the whole Lizzo thing and not focus on the case. So it was just kind of like a distraction from more serious charges and allegations against him. And I also have heard that he settled the lawsuit with the mother. So I heard that from Rodney the Voice, and I heard that from someone else, from Choke No Joke. Shout out to Choke No Joke, whom sometimes can be irrational, but I did like his commentary on this whole situation. And he had some really good points that he made on how Tiffany Haddish kind of, after 2013, when she did this video, that she kind of just blew up and just got really famous after doing this. And he thinks that it's a connection to her making this video with Aries, that he thinks that there's some connection, some conspiracy behind that. So, okay, back to what I was talking about. Maybe the Illuminati could say that Lizzo is pushing an obesity, unhealthy lifestyle agenda, or promiscuity agenda, because she was, does have some kind of lewd behavior a little bit, twerking in public with her butt hanging out. And maybe that's a reason why, I guess someone could say, because she's pushing the agenda that they want, which is I guess hedonism and unhealthy low frequency lifestyle. And I guess if you look at it from that angle, maybe that's why they would be on her side. Maybe that's one reason why. I didn't think about that before on my last video because I was too drunk, so I couldn't really put two and two together. So maybe Dave Chappelle has nothing to do with this, but I remember Tiffany Haddish saying that he called her a genius. So I thought that was interesting, that because a lot of people don't think that she's funny at all, but I do remember her saying, I'm not saying that I think she's funny in her interviews and talking to people, just having conversations, podcasts, whatever. But her stand-up to me isn't that funny. From what I've seen of it, it just didn't do much for me. But I think that her and Kevin Hart are kind of similar, which is interesting because they're friends. I think he's funny, but I don't think his stand-up is that funny. So, but I thought it was interesting that she said that Dave Chappelle said that she was a genius. But she also pushes that same kind of lewd lifestyle, so I don't know why they would side with Lizzo over her, because she's also doing their, I guess, quote unquote, how you would look at it, dirty work in a way, by pushing promiscuity and just pushing, sex. So she, we know that the Illuminati or whatever, the elite, that they are a freaky group of people and they like to get down. So they just like to do whatever. They're down for whatever. So this would probably help if I looked at my notes, which I do have somewhere, because my memory is not that great sometimes. So, one thing I thought was sad was that she told that kid that he wouldn't work in Hollywood, never work in Hollywood, because of He wouldn't let Aries touch him, and it's just like, who did you let touch you? It makes you wonder why Kevin gave her that money that day to get that hotel room. Was he in that hotel room with her? I know she's really not his type per se, but you know, you know, what is what to a to a guy. So you never know. I always thought that there was something between her and Charlamagne, to be honest with you, just because of their friendship. I remember he gave her like a diamond necklace. Not saying a man can't give a woman things, but that's kind of a little extreme. But yeah, I almost feel like, and when they make this movie, they were hiding in plain sight, which we hear about a lot, which some of these people do when they are doing it. It'd be like, it'd be probably easier to take advantage of a kid and groom them and do whatever if you did gain their trust and you made them feel like it was just acting, like it wasn't, this isn't serious, it's just us acting, we're just doing this, we're just doing a part, we're just playing a role, which is almost what this video comes off like when you really look at it. So it makes you wonder, was that what they were doing, whoever organized this whole thing? And life sure has a way of humbling you, man. When you start getting all cocky, it will let you know. Funny or Die did say that they did not put this video together, that they have nothing to do with it, and that they took it down in 2018 after they were told about it, and they thought it was disturbing, and it was something that they was not standing by, and they had nothing to do with it. I heard a lot of people saying, why did they make them make this video? And this was a independent thing that Aries Spears did with whomever his team was that he made this video with. I don't know who wrote this skit. I'm assuming that it was Aries Spears, because I heard that he does a lot of skits like this. So I don't know. And the sad thing is, I wonder if this is what we saw the video. Like, we didn't see all of it. What was the parts where this kid was crying so much, where he was trying to touch him and the kid was like, no? What was he trying to touch where the kid was crying? Because this kid seemed pretty well behaved throughout the video, and he was like complying and just kind of doing what they were saying. So it makes you wonder, what level did it get to for the kid to feel uncomfortable where he was like, no? Because Aries touched the kid in the video clip. He touched them several times, I believe. So it makes you wonder, was he trying to touch him in a certain area where the kid just knew that it was wrong and completely uncomfortable? And it makes you wonder, like, was there more? Was there another video that they made that they sent off to someone else, to some executives or someone on the black market? I don't know much about the black market, but I heard that this kind of video would be on the black market. So questions. Questions. One of the questions people want to know, why didn't the girl, after they made her do the whole simulation with the fellatio and the sub sandwich, why didn't she tell her mother? One possibility could be that she was just ashamed and embarrassed and didn't want to tell her mom, and that she just, like a lot of, or maybe they told her, they threatened her. A lot of people that are victimized are ashamed to come forward just because of what they experienced. Or it could have been that the kid could have just wanted fame really bad and just wanted this, and was just hoping that they would just be able to get famous from it and, just deal with it. I don't know what was behind this young lady's mind. She was 14 at the time. I know when R. Kelly was messing around with young girls, he was like promising them things and promising them fame and grooming them in that way. So I don't know if that was the same situation with this case, but it could have been that. Or she could have told her mother, and her mother could just, could be trying. This could be a money grab. I'm not saying that. I don't really know the details. I do know that, like I said, the mother has been paid. One thing that I wonder about was, she said that she was downstairs when all of this happened to her brother, but there were some scenes that looked like they were probably filmed in the kitchen or downstairs. So where was the young lady when those scenes were filmed, with the baby oil and the one where he was in his underwear, where Tiffany has him like holding him and taking him? It looked like they're in the kitchen or something. So, and it also looks like a living room. Most living rooms are downstairs, aren't they? I mean, I suppose it could be a big house. I don't know what this building was like, but maybe they have a living room upstairs. Who knows? But I just thought that was one of the questions that I had. If someone else has some information on that, um, that would be helpful. But I doubt if any of us really know, because we probably won't find out all of this until this actually goes to trial. Right? So, but yeah, that could be a possibility why she didn't tell the mother until it happened to the brother. Maybe when it happened with the brother, maybe she didn't think that they would do it to her brother because he was younger. And when they got to that point, she was just like, yeah, I have to say something. Like I'm saying, I'm speculating. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, trying to find, a reason why. Why wouldn't you say that? There's Jason Lee, who has came out with Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish looks like Kenya's aunt on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I forgot her name. But whatever her name is. She looks like Kenya's aunt. Doesn't she? Anybody that watches Roa? She certainly doesn't look like Amber Rose, that's for sure. Jason Lee Jason Lee kind of looks like my grandfather, which is weird. So, but yeah, he's defending Tiffany, and he's saying that he's going to dox the plaintiffs in the case, and he's going to he's backing Tiffany up, and he's going to release some information. So we'll see what that's going to be about, what he has to say about this. And I'm not really sure if I agree with him releasing the names of the victims, because they're really young and they were underage when this happened. But he's going to stick by his friend. So he has to keep all his famous friends that he has, because he might be losing one soon. So take that as you will. You know what? He looked better when he was fat. Am I the only person that thinks that? I know it's crazy, but he just looked better. He looks weird now. I don't know. He looks different. Yeah. Here is a clip. Let me unplug my. Okay, this clip probably won't. This clip will not play no matter what I do. I swear. I just don't understand. It's maybe like I've tested it so many times. There it is. You gonna be fine when you grow up, little boy. You like round now. Yeah, you guys saw that? Maybe I'll play it again just in case you didn't get all of it. Let's start it over from the top. Look at Kevin Hart. I mean, not Kevin Hart, Cat Williams. Sorry, Cat. On your son when it's bring your kids to work day, like, look at your son, he cute. You gonna be fine when you grow up, little boy. You like round now. Yeah, there she is talking about flirting with children, which is just, Lord, this Well, she's a comedian. Comedians like to push the envelope. They like to shock people, and they like to, to cross the line, toe the line. But I don't know. After this whole, it's like things like that can come back to bite you in the ass when that's why it's just best not to say nothing. Like, it's just like Bill Cosby with the Spanish fly thing. All these things always come back to bite people in the butt. So it just looks even weirder that she would make a stand-up special like that, or a set like that, considering the allegations that are against her now. It looks really bad. I don't know, if I were the young woman, I would probably play this in court. Like, look at this. She's even talking about it in her comedy, that she likes kids. So it looks weird. And Cat Williams was right. Cat Williams was in that video. I called him Kevin Hart by accident. But yeah, he was right. Like, if this is all you have to joke about, is like just some nasty I can get up there and talk about that, but I wouldn't want to. That's just weird, and it just lacks creativity to me. It really does. What's interesting about this too is she's on all of these like children's shows and cartoons and things like that. I wonder why they couldn't give these jobs to a person with a kid. Just saying. Like, Wanda Sykes would have been really good in a role like this. She actually has children too. And I'm not saying that only people with children can work with children. I'm just saying you think it would make more sense because you think they would just have more experience being that they're a parent. And that, I don't know, just would have more of a connection with children that someone that doesn't have any, might have. And she's just, I don't know. I don't want to go again because it's just comedy, but she just talks about like sex all the time and just sex, and it's like crazy that they would give someone like her a TV show, and that's just her, her whole thing. And I'm not saying that should matter, because I know comedians are in kids, they do voiceovers and they're in movies and they do this and that, but it just, I don't know. And I think maybe it's because of the allegations in the video. It just looks really bad that she is around so many children. Why does she want to be around all these children? I hope she's not a predator, because it looks bad. She's constantly surrounded by children. Has a executive produces a cartoon. Her and Kevin Hart both were in The Secret Life of Pets, which I watched with my child. She also has children books. So she is putting herself in a position to always be around children, which I hope she isn't a predator, but those are what the allegations are. And it really looks bad, because we all know that predators like to be around the prey. And just saying, I don't know if she's a predator. I hope she isn't, but I just think it's an interesting thing. Take it as you will, that she's constantly involved with children activities. Children think she doesn't have any, and I really thought at first it was kind of endearing that she cared about children and foster children because of her situation, and that she was giving them back, or suitcases and things. But now that I look back, I'm like, maybe that was like damage control, because she knew that this was coming out, and she knew that she was being, so she was like, let me do something so I can get in the good graces. Let me start giving these suitcases to these foster children. Let me do some things to look better, to clean up my image, so that when this lawsuit comes out, I will have people on my side. They will look at me like, oh, she's a good person. There's no way that she, like a lot of people were defending her, even the brat. Oh, she didn't do this. She was like adamant, which she has since backtracked and came out and, just said that she agreed that it was disgusting, and just completely condoned the video, and completely condoned she didn't think it was funny. And Ricky Smiley said the same thing. So they aren't standing by her anymore. I couldn't find a picture, but this is what the young lady kind of alleged, that she had like a sub sandwich between two people in a video and was simulating like fellatio. It made me wonder, like, why pick a sub sandwich? Was it because of this dude, the pervert from Subway? It's a real interesting choice. You're going to pick a sub sandwich, and then you got this Chomo. I don't know if he had got caught around that time, or maybe this is all a coincidence that she picked this up sandwich, and you have this dude that was messing around with children pretty much and is in prison now because of that, the demon. And yes, this is one is a demon too, if the allegations are true. Well, we saw the video, but I don't know how much she knew about this. I don't know. But the kid was in his underwear, so she knew that much. Yeah, I was rooting for her. I wanted her to be successful. I liked her at first. I thought she was a breath of fresh air. Like I said, I thought her interviews were funny, and she had a good energy about her. I read her autobiography. It seemed interesting. I liked her story of how she came up, was like homeless pretty much, and just came up and, made something out of nothing. And I could relate a lot to her upbringing, the dysfunctionality and all that, but I don't know if she's going to recover from this. I don't know what she's going to do, because she has all these attachments to children, like I said, these shows and books and all these things. I don't know how that's going to work out for her, but if she is fired from her job and she is canceled, she can always work at the circus, because they're always looking for clowns. So that's something that she can do. But yeah, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you, Tiffany. We were rooting for you, and look what you did. Look what you did, girl. Messed up. You done messed up. You done fucked up, right? Y'all remember that from Minister Society? Yeah, she knows she done fucked up. Look at this other demon. The devil is a lie. Look at that. Demons, demons, demons. Nickelodeon. Is Nickelodeon, they said they were making this real for quote unquote Nickelodeon. This is like the president of Nickelodeon. He was fired because he was like really sketchy and just had like children on that show doing some really weird, freaky things and some just inappropriate things, and just a lot of inappropriate behavior surrounding him. So he was fired, and he kind of made the whole company look bad. And I think Sean Davy Way, shout out to Sean Davy Way, another one of my favorite bloggers. I think he has made a documentary covering the scandals at Nickelodeon, which I have not seen it yet, but maybe I will check it out eventually. But check out his channel, because he is so funny. He's very informative, and he has some really good documentaries out there. He has one about Tiffany Haddish. He has a couple of them that he made, so check his channel out. But I wonder, was Nickelodeon a code word? Is that some word for, like, Nickelodeon is, I don't know, some word that they use for making some type of child smut or whatever you want to call this stuff that they were doing. Just something to think about. Okay, now here's my thoughts on this. This kid probably could have actually been safer home alone. Do not leave your children home alone, by the way. I'm just saying. But in reality, this kid would have been more safer home alone if this was like real than leaving him with Uncle Chester, Uncle Pete. Okay, the reason why, you're probably wondering, why do you have Home Alone Lego version? Because this is what they could have did. Let me pitch this idea to you, to my listeners. Now, hear me out, if you will. Close your eyes if you want to. I have this claymation or Lego movie skit of this kid that's left with Uncle Pete, Uncle Chester, and he's like trying to do stuff to this kid, but this kid is like hip to it, like, oh hell no, you're not, and he just starts messing Uncle Chester up all throughout the movie. Okay, like Uncle Chester's sitting there with the holes in the newspaper watching this kid. And this kid grabs some a bottle, and Uncle Chester's like, "Ooh, a bottle! This kid's about to come over here." And he thinks it's like baby oil, but the kid takes the bottle and he squirts it in his eyes, and it's actually like sanitizer. It burns the shit out of his eyes, or it could be bleach, something clear. Sanitizer, bleach, rubbing alcohol, whatever this kid can find. He just squirts it in the pervert's eyes, Or he could also be. He could also be the dude's trying to get in the tub with him, and then he says, "Oh, okay." He gets the dude in the tub. Then he like jumps out of the tub and throws a radio in the tub or a hair dryer that's plugged in, or maybe he he tries to get him to rub him with some baby oil, and instead of baby oil, this kid has like some lighter fluid, and he just rubs it on him and throws a match on him and sets Uncle Pete on fire. Yeah, that would have been a better video. That would have been funnier. They could have did a claymation, even if they wanted to do it in their whole style. Why not do a claymation? I mean, you're such a popular stand-up, Aries Spears. You're so popular. You get all these shows. You get all this meow. You have enough money. Why don't you just hire an artist to draw this, to produce this? Why not? Why not just hire a cartoonist to draw this for you, so you can do this animation style and not traumatize any children in the process? Why not be more creative with it? Why did you actually have to? You would probably actually save money doing this, because you can do all the roles yourself. You don't have to hire actors, and you don't have any liabilities with hiring actors like you do now with what you did. You don't have to worry about someone saying, "Oh, you touched me inappropriate," but maybe that's why you had a human, because you wanted to have a human. You had some other ulterior motive, maybe. But you could have did this. That would have been funny, seeing this kid kick the Uncle Pete in the nuts, or take that crowbar and just beat him in the nuts with it, or poison his food, whatever. It's just a cartoon, but I would rather see the chomo get his ass whipped and get messed up than seeing some kid get rubbed and touched, and then you're like, don't leave your kids with people. Like, maybe this video, the end of it could say, don't fuck with kids. This is what's going to happen to you if you mess with a child. Just saying. And this is more empowering for a kid to do something than to just sit there and let the pervert stare at him and not do anything and not tell anyone and not, tell his mom or nothing. It's just a pervert staring at a kid for 5 minutes or however long that video was. They could have did this so many other ways, and this was just one of them. Could have used some puppets, all kinds of shit. Made this funny. If somebody wants to make this movie, like you're cartoonist or you're artist and you want to make this movie or you want to make this book or something, holler at me. I'm a writer. We can get together and make this happen, because this would be good. I want to see this, and we could even make him look like Aries Spears, which would be even funnier. So I'm just saying, like, there's other ways to do this and be creative, and that would have been actually maybe funny, because like I said, no kids would be hurt. And with this type of technology, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can be free with your art, just whatever. You can, if you wanted to do some Cosby Show type of shit, you could even have a little set that you made, just whatever. But like I said, maybe there was they wanted a real kid for some reason. I mean, we always see on is it Comedy Central? No, it's probably an independent artist. He does like the animations of comedy specials, and it's funny as hell. And there's one where they do like Tales from the Trip, when they do the animations of the people talking about their trips. That's funny. Could have had some type of thing like that. Interesting enough, where did Tiffany Haddish go after the allegations of child abuse came out against her? She goes to Greece. Anybody know about the history of Greece out there? Let me know in the comments. If you know anything about Greece, well, just look at this title. It tells you a lot about Greece you need to know. It's probably the last place you would want to go. If I was being accused of some child abuse, I'm going to Africa. I'm going to go hang out with some kids there and pass out some stuff to them, some back to school supplies, some whatever. I'm not about to go to Greece and start hanging out in the home of the Chomo, the ancient Chomo, where it all began. No, I'm just saying, maybe she doesn't know, but yeah. Probably not the best place to go, but a lot of people probably won't even realize that. They probably need to know the history of Greece. Let's talk about Jason Lee, her BFF. He says cancel culture is toxic, which, yeah, I believe, because you're defending this. But let's talk about cancel culture. Is cancel culture even real? Is that real? Who's really been canceled besides like Bill Cosby and people that have actually been convicted? But that's not even always a cancellation. Mike Tyson went to jail, and Tupac, you know, even though he's passed away, they've been canceling dead people. So that doesn't mean anything. They've been trying to cancel dead people, cancel their music being played on the radio, and cancel all of that. But there's some celebrities that have went through the legal process, and they came out unscathed. So I don't know if this cancel culture. I don't even know if you can cancel a comedian, because at the end of the day, I think they're still going to be able to work in comedy clubs. They might not be able to be on TV anymore, but Dave Chappelle is doing just fine. I know he was on Saturday Night Live, but I don't really see him like in a lot of movies and stuff or anything like that. I don't see him on TV a ton. But he's doing really fine. And I know that neither one of them are on his level, but I think that they will be okay as comedians. They're still going to have fans that support them. Because there's some people out there that actually think this is funny, and they like this kind of humor, and they like this dark, really dark, disturbing stuff. So I've seen a lot of people defending it, sadly enough. But I don't believe that cancel culture is real. I can't really name, except for like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, you know, those people. I can't really think of too many people that have really been canceled. Maybe I'm missing some people. Oh, I of course R. Kelly, but like I said, people that have been through the legal process and have a guilty verdict and serving jail time, then maybe in this day and age anyway, because back then nobody was doing all of that. No one canceled anyone. So a lot of football players and athletes I know have records and all types of convictions and all type of cases against them, and they still do fine. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be canceled. I don't know if I feel like, I don't believe in cancel culture, so I can't say it's toxic because I just don't know if it's real. This was Nene Leakes.
It's never anything that happens over
on there, on Jason Lee's on Hollywood.
It's never anything that happens overnight. I can also tell you that I'm not a liar. I don't just wake up and just decide to lie. I can also tell you that if a black woman tells you that they have been raped, they have been abused, they have been discriminated against, you should probably listen very closely. And 9 times out of 10, they're probably telling you the truth. And
well, Candy didn't.
No, he didn't.
Where there is smoke, there is fire.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Interesting. Well, you saw Jason didn't agree with that. He's kind of nodding, but I wonder, Nene Leakes, she's the one that said that if a black woman makes these claims of abuse, discrimination, and all these different things, that you should believe her. I wonder, does Nene Leakes support this young woman? Because I know she's friends with Jason Lee. Has she came out and publicly offered support to these children and condoned what they did? Not condemn what the skit that was done. Did it condemn the actions? I think I might have said condone earlier. I meant condemn. Condemn the actions that were done. Did they? Let me plug my mic back in. Hopefully it's still working. So yeah, that I haven't heard anything from her yet. She's going through her own legal problems, so she's probably not even going to say anything. She just wants like people. She's probably happy no one's talking. Actually, she wants people to talk about her. I take that back. She's probably sad that people aren't talking about her. But yeah, all these toxic people seem to be friends with each other. So that's something. There's Nene Leakes with Charlemagne, who was accused of assaulting a young woman. She says believe black women when they're accused. But what about Jessica Reed? Why did you go on the show? Just saying. I know this isn't about Nene, but I just thought it was interesting that she's saying believe women and she's on the show. So here's what I think should happen. they should pay for the therapy for these children. They said the mother got some money. I don't know what the mother did with the money. The mother sounds like she's kind of mentally unstable because the child is actually taking care of the siblings. So something is going on with that. But I think these children are going to need counseling. Pay for their counseling, get some therapy, pay for some college for this young man. You have him all over the internet now. He's probably embarrassed as hell. And you have his images out there for all kind of perverts to look at. And I think you should pay for his education so that he can be something in his life and this doesn't completely damage him and ruin him. So here's something that parents should do. You can't always have your children with you if you're a single parent, especially. Sometimes you have to have your children with people, especially if it's like therapy, things like that. You can't always be in there. If you have to have someone watch your child, maybe you should invest in some of these little plugins that have cameras in them so that you can see what's going on and monitor them while you're away and have evidence in case something goes down. And find out what the privacy laws are. But you know what? I don't give a damn about the privacy laws. I'm recording your ass, and if you do something and I see it, we're going to talk about that later, okay? So do what you can to protect your children's. I don't know how much these things cost. I'm guessing like $40, maybe $50. Who knows? But just look how small that camera is. You can't even see it. Yeah. Get those if you have babysitters, nannies, people watching, even your kids watching kids, family members. Have one of these, get one of these, invest in it. They have nanny cams inside of teddy bears. If you want to give your kid, have your kid take them with them. If they aren't going to be in your house watching them, they can take this with them to an audition. They can take this with them to friend's house, just wherever, pajama sleepovers. Have them get something like this. There's watches with cameras in them. And make sure your kids are using these for the right thing. They're not just going in the restroom at school filming people or doing something inappropriate. Just make sure they have it at the right time when they are at an audition or if they're at the therapist, which I know is supposed to be private, but you won't have to look at it. Just have the footage just in case you need to go back and look at it if you don't want to break your trust with your child and their privacy. But if they say, hey, on this day something weird happened, you can go back and have that to reference and say, okay, let me look at this and see what went down on that day. So that's just something to have to keep safe and for extra peace of mind. If your kid is going to auditions, they can easily have this on. If they are going to after school activities, sports, whatever, they can have these on. Camp, Boy Scouts, which is another organization that the Chomos like to get in. Cub Scouts, get something like that for them. Body cameras. Unfortunately, I know this is sad that we have to go through these measures. I'm seeing all kind of things that I could never imagine seeing as a child, such as like bulletproof backpacks and things like that. But you have to take preventative measures just to make sure that your children are safe and by any means necessary. So if it means putting a body camera on them, if they are going to an audition, if they want to allow this on them, then that should raise a red flag to you. Like, why can't they have this on them? So if they are going to be sitting with a family member being watched or just whatever, just have some extra security. They have glasses too with cameras in them. They have necklaces and they have ink pens that have cameras you can hide it. And like I said, I know it's sad that we have to come down to this, but at the end of the day, it's better safe than sorry. Oh, there's an air freshener with a camera in it. And try to choose child cares that have surveillance so you can watch your children. And try to choose child cares that has more than one staff because it's just good for emergencies. If something happens and the staff has to use the restroom or do anything, you have another set of eyes that are watching them and not just children that are alone. Request background checks from anyone that is going to be in your home around your children. Whether even on your own family, you might have to do a background check because they're not going to tell you every single thing. And this doesn't even make you clear because there's some people that haven't gotten caught with their crimes that they're committing. So it doesn't always guarantee, but it's just a precaution to take. And is not that expensive to do. I've done a background check on friends, and I found out that one of the people I was hanging around with had some questionable things on their background, and that person was not allowed back in my home after I saw that. They were not allowed around my child anymore. So that's just something good to do. Common and Jaguar, right? It's just weird. They say birds of a feather flock together. So now both Common and Tiffany Haddish have these allegations behind them involving SA. And with the Tiffany Haddish thing, I actually do remember when it came out years ago. It was kind of swept under the rug when it happened. And I thought when they first mentioned that she was in legal trouble that it was because she messed around with Chingy when he was asleep. And I thought that, even though I know that they don't really care about when stuff like that happen to men, that was just one of the craziest things that I heard her admit to on live TV. It's interesting because Jaguar Wright said that Common tried to do the same thing to her, tried to mess around with her, unzip her pants when she was like sleeping on a tour bus. It's crazy how those two people were together that were kind of accused of the same or similar things. Interesting. Maybe that's why they couldn't be together, because they were just too much alike. And I'm not just talking about the bald head. So yeah, there she is with Charlamagne. I think that they are like really good friends. Like I said, he's been accused and he hasn't been canceled. And he's friends with Jason Lee as well. I always wondered, was he messing around with Tiffany Haddish just because of their friendship? And like I said, he gave her a diamond necklace. But I guess it could be hiding in plain sight though. Because I was like, maybe he wouldn't do it in front of people if he was really messing around with her. But I don't know. Maybe she doesn't like grown men. Hey, she said it herself. Hey, you like ramen? Yeah. Her words, not mine. She kept going on that show all those times after he had those accusations. And there's his BFF, Jason Lee. All of them. Jason Lee has had allegations about him too. It's like weird. This whole group have all these allegations about children, underage people, or something to do with some type of assault or some type of predatory behavior. All of them. And I know these two have been assaulted as children, and Tiffany. We had to break the cycle. It's just going to continue. With Charlamagne, he wasn't found guilty of it. He pled to a lesser charge. So he was able to kind of get away with that pretty much. And yeah, there was a whole documentary made about it. What he did with Jessica Reed and I believe Choke No Joke. I don't know if he still has it up. But yeah, it was a really sad documentary to watch. I think I made a video responding to that. It was sometime last year, so it's way back. Jason Lee, I made this, and Jason Lee, he said, "Oh, I love it. It's creative and funny." Then I said, "Well, it's not funny. He's making fun of babies and because of their skin color." Then he blocked me after that, so he doesn't. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up by saying, talk to your children. You already know this. Just like you know not to leave your kid. Be careful who you leave your children with. Just talk to your kids. And don't tell your kids, I'm going to kill somebody if they hurt you, because I heard that makes children not want to tell, because they're afraid that something might happen to the parent. They don't want to lose you. They don't want you to go to jail, or they don't want the person to hurt you because that person might be threatening to hurt the parent. So just listen to them. Listen to what they have to say. Don't tell them any threats of what you're going to do, because you don't want them to be afraid. You want them to be comfortable coming to you and feeling like nothing's going to happen to you or them. You want them to feel safe. Judges are corrupt. Just because this got thrown out of court doesn't mean anything. Some judges are chomos themselves. Just look it up. Here's a bunch of corrupt judges. I have no idea what they did, but I know they're corrupt. And justice is for sale. Let's not act like people with money don't get away with shit all the time that poor people wouldn't get away with. So yeah, the legal system is broken in some ways too. So you can't just say, oh, because it got thrown out, or That doesn't mean anything. That judge could have been a chomo. He could have did the, what's that signal, the Illuminati signal or whatever, the Mason signal, whatever. I heard people do that in court. I don't know if that's true, but I was told that they do some signal and then they can get away with things. Let me know if that's true, if that's just a rumor. So some people are bringing up Family Guy. Well, they did this with Family Guy, and they did this with Saturday Night Live with The Rock, the Chomo robot. And Dave Chappelle did it when he made fun of Michael Jackson victims. But you know what? Here's the difference between that and what Aries did. When they did these jokes, there was no children around or on the set or and this was like open sets. Number one, it wasn't like some little room where they were filming a kid with an iPhone camera, whatever they were using. This was like just completely different. There was no children. That's the biggest difference. There was no kids involved in any of these comedy sets or sketches or cartoons. It was all adults. Now, is it funny? That's up to you and what your humor is. Humor is subjective. I just wonder would Kevin Hart let Tiffany Haddish do this with his children? Another thing, why didn't they use children in their family to make the skit? Why did they use their nieces, nephews, cousins? Why did you go and find this kid? Would you ask Kevin Hart if you could do this with his kids? I can guarantee you he can be like, hell no. He wouldn't let you do that with his kid. So what makes you think it's okay to do that with this woman's children? Because she's not a celebrity? Because she's not rich and powerful and famous? She and her children should be taken advantage of? Is that what they think? If they didn't think that this whole thing was sinister, why couldn't they just tell the mother what it was about? Why were they hiding it? Why couldn't they just say, this is what we're making, and been clear on everything? Why did it have to be done in secrecy? I think that right there lets you know that they knew that this was wrong, what they were doing. The fact that they had to hide everything lets you know that they knew what they were doing was wrong and that it wasn't okay. For all the people that think it's funny and they don't think it's a big deal, I want to ask you this question. Would you let Aries Spears or Tiffany Haddish or both of them watch your children? Would you let them do this to your child? Would you let them strip down to the underwear and be filmed, have close-ups of their crotch and have it put on the internet for entertainment? Would you allow that? If not, why not? Why not? If you think it's funny and you support it, why wouldn't you let your children be involved in this? The last thing I would like to do is list this health helpline. If you have been, you or someone that you know in the past or currently are experiencing abuse, please call this number, and they have a chat line as well. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's 877-995-5247. It's a helpline, and they will help you with whatever information you need to go to the next step of what needs to be done in your case. So don't be afraid to call them and reach out to someone if you're going through this. Or like I said, if someone you know is going through that, please reach out, talk to someone. Thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate you so much. And please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.